Hello ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Mogel here again. Some more tips for you writers out there. Today I'd like to talk about something maybe a little bit outside of the writing field per se, but something you probably should still know nonetheless, kind of like the contract law thing. And that would be advertising. Yeah. This is one of those areas where you have a pro and con with different types of publishing. If you self-publish, you need to know everything there is to know about advertising because you're not going to be able to rely on anyone else for your advertising. If you publish with a publishing house, you're not going to have to worry about advertising as much. If you really didn't want to do anything, you wouldn't have to. But if you want to bump your sales up a little bit, knowing advertising and some advertising tactics and strategies pretty much helps. One of the first things you would need is, of course, some type of a visual image, usually cover art from a book. So let's say you've published a short story in an anthology. It's a very common way to get started. Having the cover art for that anthology and being able to put that onto Reddit, Tumblr, an advertisement on Facebook, not Facebook, Craigslist. Facebook too, actually. I mean, if you have a large number of friends, you get those friends to share the cover art, preferably with some type of a hyperlink attached to it. That could actually be a really great way to do a little bit of advertising. Advertising is not a challenging thing to do. It really isn't. I mean, despite the TV show Mad Men and all these programs about, advertising, we're using all these different marketing techniques, the reality is it boils down to just having enough of a brain to look at cause and effect as you try out different methods. I found that Craigslist is actually a great way for me to get advertising for my website. So I advertise on Craigslist internationally, which is one of the cool things about Craigslist, quite frequently. And I've gotten hits from Saudi Arabia, China, Vietnam, Finland, Germany, South Africa, Brazil, all over the place. Still waiting for my first McMurdo station, though. So, all you scientists out there in Antarctica, check out my website. The point is that you get massive international coverage, and these days you have an international market. If you have an ebook, or your story's been included in an ebook of some kind, you're going to have, just by dint of the fact that it's an ebook, the opportunity to sell globally. You could have a huge following in South Korea, or a huge following in Latvia. It's just a question of getting to those markets. And you do that through things like Craigslist. Now, I personally use Craigslist, Tumblr, which I've only started using recently. I only have a few followers, still getting the hang of it. It's one of those learning curves. It happens. And that's one of those things that you do still have to feel out. As you use different types of social media, different social media outlets, there is a learning curve to it. It's going to take you a little bit of time to acclimate. Like, I haven't started using Twitter yet. I've been giving it some serious thought, but I haven't started using it quite yet. I'm probably going to in the near future, and when I do, I will probably add a hyperlink for my Twitter page. Right? It's the point is that it's not rocket science. Find social media outlet. Practice using social media outlet. Use images, use little snippets of your story. You don't need a huge following these days. If you get a couple hundred people to follow you on a particular outlet, like DeviantArt's another great outlet because there are so many groups that you can advertise in. One image, just cover art, can be submitted to a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen different groups on DeviantArt, all of them on writing. All of them on some type of literary art form. And now you've got hundreds of page views for your cover art, for the book you've been included in. Your book, whatever it might be. Whether or not they go and buy that really is, from a financial standpoint, the guts of the matter. The reality is that just statistically alone, the more people you get looking at your stuff, the greater the likelihood is that you will make sales. And that's the point of advertising. And you want to make sales so that you can get your writing to support you. And if your writing is supporting you, that means you can focus more time on your writing. And that's kind of the way it's this whole cycle you have going on. The more money you make with your writing, the more time you have to focus on your writing. And that's really the whole point of it all. So, that's what I got to say on advertising. It's not a lot. It's not a rocket science subject. It's something you can get the hang of relatively quickly. And there are still all manner of new media outlets. And I'm not talking about specifically how to make these different media outlets work, because there's new ones popping up every day. And as a new one pops up, I'm not going to put out a video every couple of weeks on, oh, this is a new media outlet for this. This is something where, yeah, there's going to be a general learning curve. Here's a basic overview of how to use it. Hyperlinks, images, give a little blurb, a little spiel about what it is you've got your story included in, or what your novel is about, and just get it out there. Bear in mind that saving a copy of your advertisement in like a Word document so you can just cut and paste as needed is really helpful, particularly since most advertising these days is done via a laptop. That's all you really need. Yeah, there's not really much else I can say about it. I mean, really, what you're concerned with is just getting access to these media outlets and using them. That's it. That's 99.99% of it. Access to the media outlets, using them. All right. That's as much as I got to say on this topic. So, I'm gonna get this right eventually. Like and share below. If you have any questions, go to my YouTube page. You can email me via email address there, or you can go to my website. Hyperlink is in the description below. My email address is there as well. Send me an email if you have any questions. I will answer them through a video. Thank you and cheers.